we are joined by the chair of the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, Mr. Charles Nyachae. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Yvonne.
You have been accused by senators of jumping the gun in denouncing the bill. Your thoughts?
I think that's a joke, because it's the senators who jumped the gun by taking a bill to Parliament outside the process. That is very clear in the Constitution. They violated Article 261 because this is clearly a bill that seeks to implement the Constitution, and more specifically, if you look at Section 14 of the 6th Schedule, this is a bill that touches on county governments, and therefore, specifically, the Constitution requires that CIC and CRA both needed at least 30 days to consider the bill, give their input before it can go to Parliament. So if there's anybody who has jumped the gun, it's the Senate.
They've mentioned the fact that there's no forum to coordinate county activities, and that is why they are pushing forward with this bill to have the county development boards in place. Is that the case?
No, absolutely not. I just watched, first of all, I just watched Senator Murkomen saying that if this is unconstitutional, then the summit and other bodies that have been established are unconstitutional. I think that is a cynical view that misleads the people. We're not saying it's unconstitutional on the basis that it is not provided for in the Constitution. We are saying it's unconstitutional because the contents violate the Constitution. And you just need to look at the contents. When you create a body and then you give it powers and you purport to give it functions which the Constitution already gives to other bodies, that is what is unconstitutional. When you purport to make senators and members of Parliament to be part of what is effectively implementation at the county government level, that is what is unconstitutional. When you purport to duplicate what the Constitution, the County Governments Act, the Intergovernmental Relations Act all provide for, the Public Finance Management Act all provide for very specific provisions that deal with those issues, and therefore create that conflict, that is what is unconstitutional. And when you avoid the clear constitutional principle of separation of powers, and here we're talking about separation of powers on the one hand between the two levels of government. If you look at Article 6 of the Constitution, the clear distinction between the two levels of government, that's one level, and the other one is between the executive and the legislature.
Okay.
Then that violates the Constitution.
All right. What next for you now?
You see, what next for us, I think, is and it's unfortunate because when those who moved this did not use the Article 261 process and come to CIC, we wrote to the Speaker, but you know, it still went ahead. And what next, in my view, needs to be done, we really need to do things correctly. What next is that they should withdraw the bill if we all want to comply with the Constitution. Let us, everybody who is involved in the process of the implementation, let's look at it. Let's understand what they seek to achieve. Let's see if that can be achieved without violating the Constitution.
If not, and they carry on with it like they say they're going to do next week?
Well, if not, then from the perspective of CIC, it's sad, it gets tiresome when those who have sworn to defend the Constitution deliberately violate the Constitution. Then we would have no choice other than, I mean, if they go ahead and pass it, then, you know, we're just back to the same old cycle of asking the president not to assent to the bill because it is violates the Constitution, and if it is assented to, having to go to court. I don't think we are doing the people of Kenya a great service when we deliberately do things wrong. You know, when it is very clear, and it is those of us who have been given a clear mandate and have sworn to protect, to uphold, and to defend that Constitution.
Okay.
So what I would appeal to the Senate, let's please withdraw that bill. Let's look at it again afresh. Let's understand what you seek to do. and let's do it in a manner that complies with the Constitution.
Okay, we leave it at that for now. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your time. This evening we've been speaking to the chair of the CIC, Charles Nyachae, on that bill that is becoming very controversial between the senators and the governors.